Hi, welcome to Find Your Flock. I'm your host, Dr. Sandra Clavijo from the Schaefer School of Engineering and Science at Stevens. If you're unsure about which engineering major to choose, you're in the right place. Each episode, I chat with students and recent grads about their favorite classes, internships, professors, and more, helping you discover the path that fits you. Today's guest is a recent grad from our ECE department, Christopher Kniss. Welcome to Find Your Flock.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. We always like to get started asking a little bit about yourself and what you studied at Stevens, and for you, what you're currently studying at Stevens.
All right, so I'm a graduating computer engineer. Um, I took a minor in physics and a concentration in embedded systems, which is one of the few that you could take at Stevens. I kind of ended up studying more of the, I'd say, hardware design aspect of computer engineering.
And then you are continuing on in your education, is that correct?
Uh, yes.
And what will you be studying in the summer and through the fall?
So I have an internship this summer at NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, and I'll be continuing continuing my education for my Ph.D. in electrical engineering. So I am transitioning.
For our listeners who may not know, what is the difference between electrical and computer engineering? At Stevens, they're housed in one department.
Hmm.
Some of the courses overlapping, but you're going from computer to electrical, so there must be similarities, there must be some differences. Help us break it down to somebody who's never heard about these two disciplines before.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So electrical engineering, you're not an electrician. Okay. And computer engineering, you aren't only focusing on the digital ones and zeros. Electrical engineering, I would say you are a you're very focused on the mathematics and the um, aspects of you can choose to be focused on power electronics, like something like the power grid, um, frequency analysis control systems, a lot of the mathematics, and some circuit design. That'll land you a lot of hardware positions. Whereas computer engineering, you kind of have free reign on what you study. It's less specific on that front. You have a lot of creativity as to whether or not you tackle software engineering from a more hardware level perspective. So kind of like embedded systems coding, which involves a lot of C programming and stuff like that. Um, and you could take that to computer engineering, I would say, is much more free. You have a choice to study basically anything on the span of electrical to software engineering. Um, but I could go a little further in depth, but that's about a good summary, I'd say.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I know all of our engineers take a lot of the same courses, but then they start specifying when they pick their specific programs. But what was your favorite undergraduate class at Stevens?
All right. My favorite, aside from senior design, I won't count that. That was an excellent experience. But was digital system design. Um, I think I don't know the course code, but it's taught by Bernard Yet if you see him in the catalog. Um, Digital system design. You use FPGAs to program. Essentially, you're using a hardware description language. It is a very interesting coding class. It brings a new perspective to coding and hard work with hardware and an aspect of the industry that we don't really talk about, which is like hardware simulation. Um, you tackle um, lots of different projects throughout the course. It's half of the course is lecture based, and then the other chunk is lab based. Um, and your final project involves coding on this FPGA, anything you feel like. And it's the first time I would say in your engineering career, other than your design spine projects, that you really have to work with the team to get a computer engineering or electrical engineering task done well. And if you do not work with your team, it's likely that it's not going to happen. And so it's a very good experience. Um, and that's taught by Bernard Yet. Great professor here.
Oh, we love professor shout outs.
Hmm.
We'll have to tag him in this. Um, so senior design is another class that you do a lot of teamwork in. I know you just completed your senior design project.
Hmm.
You have a lot of experiences to work in teams. But tell us about your senior design project coming off of it. I mean, I know that one's got to be pretty fresh in your mind.
Our project was called Speaker Spine. We were a home, like a smart home speaker system. A lot of brands that already kind of have a smart home speaker system, home entertainment system functionality where uh, the functionality that we were trying to grab from them was the ability to have multiple users in a home that want to play music. Say somebody's in the living room, say somebody's in their office, somebody's in the kitchen. Every single one of those rooms is indicated on the speaker system as a separate room. And if I have three users, I could listen to three different things. Um, and then say I am just one person, but I want the same sound spread across the whole house, I could have my music play in the living room, the kitchen, and the office all at once. Or I could just have, my isolated classical music playing in the office and then rock playing in the rest of the house. That's the kind of functionality we wanted to bring at a much, much lower cost. And one of the other goals was to make it, um, forgot the word, but it's like kind of brand. Uh, you don't care about the brand that of speaker that you use. Typically, when you buy these home audio systems like Sonos or something like that, you require their speakers, only their speakers, because they're wireless. They need to communicate. They have proprietary technology. And what we wanted to do was make it so that um, they could communicate simply via aux cable. Not communicate via aux cable, but the only thing that bars a speaker from working on the network is an aux cable. And so we wanted to provide that smart home functionality at that um, yeah, simpler and cheaper. And we were actually able to get a solid proof of concept down. Like our goal was to be able to switch multiple audio sources between multiple speakers. We ran through a lot of challenges. We were sponsored by a company with our advisor, and we had to use their hardware. It was quite difficult, but we built it like so low to the ground in terms of hardware that we ran into so many issues. But it was a great experience. But we got a like a minimum viable product out, which was being able to switch um, two phones playing music at the same time between one speaker. So it's like two users swapping, which was a solid proof of concept for being able to not only play music at the hardware level, um, but being able to switch between them. And so if we were to move forward on it, it's very possible that we could, but I don't think we are. But
That's awesome. I
yeah.
love that. Senior Design Day, Innovation Expo is always such a fun day on campus. I feel like
Mm,
so many interesting projects, and this is just one of the many. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and ask you a little bit about your clubs and extracurriculars that you were involved in while you were at Stevens.
mm,
I'd love to hear a little bit about maybe some of the co-curricular or non-academic things that make your Stevens educational experience what it was.
mm-hmm. All right. So what I did a lot was I would look for small sports to play just kind of intermittently. Um, so while it was warm out, I would attend tennis club. Uh, just I'm not fantastic, but I still would go to play. That was always a good time. I um then during weekdays there was bowling. I went to that when I could. Um, we have a team, but it's optional as to whether or not you compete. So that's good. They meet every weekday. And then from then, on Mondays, there's IEEE. IEEE is a great club. It's a bunch of computer engineers, electrical engineers, software engineers that anybody's welcome, but that's the main target audience, right? Um, that they meet up, they educate everybody on some like current topics, or hot topics in the field, and you do like soldering workshops, electronics workshops, different kind of softwares like Docker and GitHub and et cetera. And I got to the point where I was like kind of helping out. I wasn't e-board, but I would be talking to them. It was very fun every Monday. Um, I didn't do much else extracurricular, but I'm good.
IEEE is a good one, and I know
Hmm.
they have a long history with Stevens being on our campus. So you have the internship lined up for the summer at NIST, research
Hmm.
based, and I think you've done some research in some of the labs here too. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the internship this summer?
Sure. Yeah. So I I like acquired this internship through the work I was doing at Stevens with my professor Rod Kim. Um, so we do work with NIST to just kind of do low temperature testing on our electrical equipment. Um, and so I've taken a trip there a couple times with my professor, and this is down in Maryland. Um, Taken a trip there a couple times to perform cryogenic testing, so like in the tens of kelvins on our electrical equipment, and we analyze their performance at those temperatures as they fall down. And we're making like modulators, etc., that are able to adjust to those temperatures and see how they perform in those environments. And so this summer I'll be working on making a PCB fit into one of their new we'll call it a refrigerator, um, one of their new refrigerators, cryogenic chambers, um, and hopefully some other work.
Sounds
But I'm
interesting.
excited for it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Will you be working down in Maryland or is it remote or at campus?
Down in Maryland on the campus.
Oh, how nice. That sounds
Hmm.
great. A little kind of summer abroad in Maryland.
Hmm.
Um, perfect. Um, and then for your PhD, are you continuing in that line of work? Uh,
Yes, I'm actually continuing with the professor.
oh, lovely. That sounds like a great fit. Such great applications with all of the cold weather applications and aerospace and, all of the um, renewed
Hmm.
interest in space and everything like that. So looking back, what advice would you give to a current first year student that's maybe uncertain about choosing their major?
Uncertain about choosing their major in general. I would say ECE as a collective, computer engineering and electrical engineering. If you don't know what you want to do, computer engineering is a great freestyle major. You stop having courses that are strictly one focus about your junior year, and you have a lot of freedom after that. I used that time to take a lot of electrical engineering courses that I wanted to take to advance my understanding of electronics. Though a pure electrical engineer, they don't get as much coding or um, I guess the digital part of the interaction with computers. They don't get as much. And I would say they actually start interacting with that at the end. And so if you're coming from, I like to code, kind of like I did when I came in, I like to code, but I don't want to make it my whole, like, I don't know, web development's not my thing, right? And so I knew that that's not what not what I wanted to do. I would say computer engineering is a great freestyle role if you know you want to be in electronics and you don't want to be a web developer. And then at any point, I think I'm pretty sure late sophomore year, even in junior year, you can swap to electrical if you really like it. And so I'd say computer engineering is a great gamble if you don't want to, if you know you're not completely undecided. But yeah, from my perspective of ECE, that's what I have to say.
Right. I mean, I sometimes ask, like, you know, give us your best pitch, but you pretty much did that with the advice. I would say, I mean, number one top reason for computer engineering, flexibility, sounds like, and a bit of creative freedom. That is some amazing advice. So that is all the time we have for today. I want to thank our guest, Christopher, for sharing their journey and wisdom with us and Find Your Flock. If you're feeling inspired, confused, or just curious, you're not alone. That's why we're here. Make sure to follow the show and share it with someone else exploring their next steps. And Christopher, good luck.
Okay, thank you so much.